It was a very good meeting today. Okay, we have just had a briefing by the Secretary General Special Envoy for Syria, Staffan de Mistura, ahead of the Astana meeting in Sochi on 30 to 31st of July. And members of the Council have reiterated their full support for his leadership to facilitate a viable, enduring political solution to the Syrian conflict. Members of the Security Council reaffirmed their strong commitment to the Syrian-led political process facilitated by the UN in line with Resolution 2254. Members of the Security Council called on the Syrian parties to engage constructively, in good faith, and without preconditions with the Special Envoy regarding the Constitutional Committee. And the members of the Security Council emphasized, again, the need for safe, rapid, and unhindered humanitarian access and full respect for international humanitarian law. Yes?
Did de Mistura give you any timeline of the way forward? You have the names now that have come from the sides of when he might come up, whittle down those names, and secondly, a timeline of when he actually could get this Constitutional Committee to meet in Geneva.
Look, I think Staffan will have to respond to those questions himself, but I think the way I understood it is that he will now take the strong commitment of the Security Council members with him to Sochi, where this will next be discussed, and he will, of course, take the lead proactively in trying to get the Constitutional Committee going. There's still lists pending in terms of names, etc., for that. But I also think he came away with a strong sense that, apart from the full backing of his efforts, also that this needs to happen swiftly. Go ahead. Sorry, yeah, wherever. Go ahead.
Mr. Ambassador, was there any sense of optimism from Mr. de Mistura that this committee would be active or at least be formed before all the world leaders gather here in September?
I think there is a notion out there, and I think Staffan shares it, that, as you were saying, the General Assembly and world leaders coming here, that there need to be progress on the Constitutional Committee, and that would be extremely useful timeline to have to show that there is now a political momentum rather than the military logic that we've seen up to now. Please.
Is there still a leading UN role in the Syrian political process?
Is that
there
question?
Still, a UN leading role in the Syrian political process?
Yeah, well, as you heard, the Council members have reiterated that, as I said, a strong commitment to the Syrian-led political process facilitated by the UN in line with 2254. That resolution was re-quoted many times in the discussion today.
Has anyone mentioned the incident yesterday of the Syrian plane that was downed on either the Israeli side or that? And more broadly, does the whole situation in the southwest, does that will that be harmful to the momentum in the political process, because it's, there's heightened military activity there?
Look, the discussion focused more on general trends, including the military logic that is still prevailing in southwest. The issue of Idlib has also been mentioned by many as a great concern. And certainly, as you know, ourselves, Sweden and several other countries have also mentioned the fact that as long as there is a military offensive, that does not create the best environment for a credible political process. So they are connected, not only for humanitarian and other reasons, but there's also there's a need to create an environment on the ground that is propitious for a political solution, and that could be a problem.
The sense of the separation of forces from 1974, which is now endangered because of all those incidents. Right. Will that change the dynamics, do you think?
I don't know. Again, I mean, the level of detail in the discussion was not such today. I believe Staffan de Mistura has some thoughts about the 1974 agreements, etc., and I believe he's mentioned it today, but I think it's better to address those questions to him and his military specialists. Thank you very much.